What's up, guys? Welcome in to the Rockstar Flipper YouTube channel. Live show tonight is Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Each and every Thursday I'm here. Thank you guys for joining me. Tonight's video, whatever time it is where you are, 6 p.m. Pacific, is going to be an important one. So make sure if you're watching this live, awesome. If you're not, watch the entire video, repeat, rewind, whatever you have to do. So you don't miss anything. Hello to all my admins. If you guys need any help in the chat over there, Adam, Justin, and I believe there's a couple other admins might drop in during the show. So definitely have them help you out if you need anything over in the chat. Keep it clean, keep it on point. And if you have questions, I'll take questions at the second half of the video. In about 15 or 20 minutes, I'll open up to questions. What's up, Gypsy Thread? Thank you so much for the email as well. I got back to you. If you guys are interested and you have any bulk neckties, you can email me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com. I'm looking for some, but I did end up committing to buying a ton of them today, so I don't know how many more I can take, but feel free to email me anyways. Include your photos, include how many you have, what brands, and how much you want. All right, let's move on to the important story, Goodwill and OfferUp, the partnership. It is true. So we all know what OfferUp is. Everybody knows what OfferUp is. OfferUp is it started as a mobile app for iPhone and Android. They do have a website, but the app is pretty much how they're based. And I'll show you guys the mobile app here on my phone. And I'll show you guys what it looks like, but it's for selling. So this is OfferUp, right? Buy, sell, simple. They had some TV commercials back in the day, and when you load it up, it shows items that are for sale in your local area, and you can click, you can search, of course, by keywords or price or pick up and shipping. They allow shipping. They didn't used to. It used to only be local like Craigslist. Kind of similar to like Let Go was what it was most compared to. And again, you can take pictures of your items and list them for sale as well. So OfferUp in the recent year has expanded to allow that shipping option. Well, with that said, they are now partnered with over 100 Goodwill stores. Let me repeat that. 100 Goodwill stores have now started uploading their inventory. And it's weird because they're uploading huge items too, but they're doing both. They're uploading items that can be sold and shipped out to customers just like we do, or like furniture, like a big couch that'll say for pickup, but the pickup location will be your local Goodwill store. So if you're in my zip code here, like say 33510 is a big city right outside of Tampa, the Goodwill store there would upload as 33510. So anybody on the app searching that zip code is going to find that couch for pickup at that Goodwill store. It probably wouldn't be in the shipping section, I don't imagine. But items like jewelry or iPhones or tablets may be in that shipping section. So Goodwill, over 100 stores, and it's not just one region. It's New York, New Jersey, California, South Florida, Detroit, San Antonio, Austin. It's all over the country. They're doing it, and they expect to expand to more of the stores. So while Goodwill already has a presence on eBay and a presence on Amazon, if you're not familiar with that, they do have it for each kind of region. This is the entire country of Goodwill uploading merchandise to OfferUp. Thousands and thousands of pieces of merchandise, boutique and brand name items is what they use in the quote. And they talk about they're using it's a program. It's called Upright Labs Lister software, which is one I've heard of. It's Upright Lister. I have never used it or have experience. Maybe somebody in the chat has some experience with Upright Labs Upright Lister. I will link you guys the story directly out of Yahoo News. Let me put that over in the chat for everyone to see. That link I just put in there is the news story. It's one of many. You can just Google it. Trust me, it's everywhere. Yeah, positive thoughts for, I just saw a comment from Adam. Our good friend Megan Mawini is moving to Texas from Washington, so stay safe on the move. And also another admin dropped in, Star from Flippin' Hippos, in case you need help. So, Vintage Al, how are you doing? Okay, so the Goodwills are ran regionally. However, they're each allowed to basically choose whether they want to upload to these online sites or these stores. And so that's why when you log into like Amazon, you'll see Goodwill of South Florida or Goodwill of New York City, of NYC or whatever. That's how it works. They are regional. That's correct. They do get to choose whether they go on Amazon. I just saw, I was looking at an item earlier today, an eBay item, and it was Goodwill of Little Rock. Go figure. Or Goodwill Little Rock or something like that. Little Rock Goodwill. I can't remember how it's spelled, but you can find it on eBay. So they each do have their own thing, and now it looks like they're each going to be on OfferUp. I don't know if they're going to be using individual names like that on OfferUp. I haven't confirmed that, but I'm sure they are. So this is the problem here. So let me talk about my opinion. I'm going to open it up to the chat for your guys' opinion and some questions. Goodwill is a business. Now, Goodwill as a nonprofit, as an organization, nonprofit, does operate programs and educational things to help ex-cons, homeless, down on their luck, abused people. There's all kinds of different programs that they support. That's 100% fact. It's part of the reason why you can't film inside of a Goodwill outlet, at least not here, because the employees are disabled. They're convicted felons. I believe there's some abused women in there. You cannot film them. They don't allow it, and that's why. And they support those programs, and I get it. And the money does go towards those things. The problem that I have with Goodwill, and what a lot of people have as a misconception and a myth, is that Goodwill is either not nonprofit at all or not for profit at all. And it's both. It's honestly both. While they do support programs, they also make a profit, and the CEOs and the executives and the admins make a lot of money for what they do. But remember, Goodwill makes a lot of money for what they do. They get stuff for free, essentially. Now, I do know there's expenses and overhead. There's building and rent and employees and all that stuff. So while the merchandise is free, the overhead is atrocious in the tens of millions of dollars. But I think I heard somewhere that an average Goodwill store with rent, electric, internet, credit card processing, employees, trucks, all overhead, all that stuff can cost millions a month to run. So who knows how many millions they spend across the country. So, but they do make a huge profit. And I believe that a lot of that money does go to the running of the business and to the executives and the admins. They're not here to help us make money. Their business is not our business. They don't care about us. They do care about selling goods, but they don't care about resellers. So get that right. Get that straight right off the top. So for people to whine like, oh, I can't buy polos anymore because they're $15 a piece instead of $3 a piece, while I understand and it's frustrating, that's not what they're in the business for. If there are people that will pay $15, so be it. They're going to make their profit, just like you would. If you're going to sell polo shirts for $15 on eBay, why would you sell it to somebody at a garage sale for $1 all day long just to sell it? If you've got customers that are willing to pay you, by all means, get your $15. Now, my problem with this and where I get frustrated and I'm making my videos is sometimes they're out of their minds. Like $39 for a pair of used jeans. Like, I get trying to make money, but be reasonable at the same time. You don't see me posting a Tommy Hilfiger necktie on eBay for $49.99 used when it's like $20 retail brand new, right? That's my problem with that. And I want to open it to you guys in the chat. What do you think about, like, I look, if they're being fair and I can make a little money and they can make a little money, great. But if it's all about like, hey, here's our great Miss Me jeans simply because we know they're worth $100, we're going to price them at $80 just to get it. Look, if you want eBay prices, then sell on eBay. If you want Amazon prices, sell on Amazon. Apparently, they're taking that message to heart and saying, well, fine, if you guys aren't going to be willing to pay $80 for Miss Me jeans in our store, we'll put them where they will sell for $80. Now, a lot of people are going to blame that on YouTubers or social media. Listen, with or without YouTube and Instagram, Goodwill knows how to go on eBay and search for jeans. So even if I bought 100 pair of jeans, never made a video, kept my mouth shut, and posted them on eBay, and sold them for $50, $60, $70, $80 all day long, Goodwill doesn't need me to come on here and make a video and tell you guys that Miss Me jeans are worth $80. They know how to go on eBay. Obviously, they have eBay accounts. Hello, it's not rocket science. What we do is not a genius business. I mean, come on. The CEO in Omaha got fired for taking a 7-figure salary. That's crazy. They don't pay their employees very much. That's kind of a fact. They help people with special needs. I think it's awesome what they do for them. Yes, the programs that they have for special needs and people getting back in the community, fantastic. I love that. I do love that. Sydney's in the chat. Laura, Vermont's in the chat. Goodwill's in South Carolina hire special needs people. They are regionally owned, though. Yes, 90. I don't think all of the Goodwills are regionally owned, but most of them, almost all of them on the East Coast. All the Florida ones are regionally owned. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, because they have the one of like North Georgia. I've seen that. Those are all regionally owned. That's correct. Prices in Western New York are insane. How do you know if it's a Goodwill listing and OfferUp? I think it's going to say OfferUp. Flipper Joe, yeah, you asked me about a webcam. It's a Logitech C922. Logitech C922 1080p cam. There's probably 4K ones by now. She sells resell. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate that. Welcome in. Give her a good round of applause there. So, if they price us out, they're going to see a drop in sales in the stores. Yes. So Nancy just touched on my part of where they have to be reasonable. They have to balance how much money they can make versus running customers off. If you as a store price things at the point where, 10% of your customers tell you, I'm not paying that, fantastic. You have 90 other out of 100 people to buy it. But if you price it where 60 or 70% of the people, it's great if you sell one item for $50 and then you decide it's worth $100 and you can sell X amount of them. But then all of a sudden now you can, let's say you're selling 10 of them a week at $50, 500. Now you can only sell 2 of them a week at $100. That's only 200 because there's only 2 people that will pay that high of price. The rest of the people aren't going to pay over 50. So you've lost more money than you made by charging higher prices. If you can move the price a little bit up and still keep everyone happy and make more money, then I'm okay with that. Give us a chance. But again, they're not in the business to give us a chance. But if they run off too many customers, they certainly will shut themselves down. So that's the way it goes. Yeah, and a lot of these prices, here's the other side to it. The people that they have doing pricing it's not people that are educated, not people that know how to price some of this. Some of them are, some of them are not. Quick survey. What does your Goodwill charge for short sleeve button-ups? Mine is $6.49. This was She Sells Resell super chat question. Our short sleeve button-ups here are $4.98. Our t-shirts are $2.98 or $3.98. Our polos are $6.98 to $9.98. Our button-up shirts are anywhere from $5.98 to $9.98 and up. If they're like special, if they know about them, $15. So, let's see. That's my Goodwill does. New York City is NYNJ. We have a special needs person that lives with us and don't help us much. We've tried over and over to get him a job at the bins. Our bins hire. They always have a sign that says they're hiring. Hey, from Birmingham. I'm going to read through the questions if you guys have them, put them over there. Oklahoma Goodwills are at $4.49, so that's about reasonable. That's where ours are, about $4.98. Trying to just read through some of the chat here. It's going pretty fast, so sorry if I missed you. They give people with special needs jobs, but let's not pretend they're doing them a favor. Yes, job is better than no job, but they take advantage of the fact they couldn't get a job elsewhere and pay little. I don't know if that's a fact, but I do know the pay is little, so could be on part with that. I hate them asking the roundup. Yes, you're not coming back to the store when they see the high prices, so they may sell only 2, but they lost 8 people that may not come back. Yes, Pineapple Path has it. It's a numbers game, and you can't outprice yourself. I feel like resellers might be their top biggest shoppers. That's right. To me, I see all the resellers spending all the money and the regular shoppers not spending the money. Does everybody else feel like that's probably accurate? Denver Goodwill outlet bins are like the best bins in the country. For whatever reason, they are absolutely fantastic. They're partnering with OfferUp, Trade Federation. OfferUp. They've partnered to list all their stuff on OfferUp. Man, you guys have some great prices. Omaha Goodwill charging $20 for Miss Me. Yeah, that's same here. $20, $24. Our Goodwill bins just doubled their prices for books and media. Man, everything going up. But you know what's not going up? The sold prices on eBay. Leah's up in Charlotte, which is a great city as well. Polo button-ups are $3.99 and $4.99. That's pretty much on par with ours. Goodwill does hire people that have to do community service, convicted felons and criminals. That's right, they do here as well. People that are on house arrest that can only go from like home to work and back. They actually have like a shuttle bus here, at least at some of the locations, where if they're on house arrest, like they've got 6 months or 12 months house arrest, they're out of jail or they didn't get jail time, they avoided it. They have to wear the electronic monitoring. They're allowed, that monitor has a GPS in it where they either have to be at the Goodwill building or they have to be at home or in the transport of, and they get transported by Goodwill, so they know they're going there. They also have a dormitory in some of our Goodwills where they actually can live, kind of like a halfway house. So they have that as well. Some of the programs are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are really great, but Adrian, I have not heard of that brand. I'm sorry. If anybody else has heard of Sansu, I've never heard of it. If they have my luck, they would just get a bunch of this is available. Miss Me jeans are $12 in California. Flipper Joe. No, I would buy them for $12 if they were the right pair. That's still too high. I mean, $8 would be okay, I guess. Brian says his Goodwill is always crowded with regular shoppers. Mine is not. Mine is always resellers. I would say if there's 20 people in the Goodwill, 10 to 15 are resellers, like always. Where should you sell a couch quickly? Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist? Every Columbia PFG is $9.99 at local Goodwill. Jerry just sucks because I used to. Right, yeah, no, our PFGs are $10 as well. That's right. Tony in Oregon, how you doing? Welcome in. How long does it take you to list stuff on eBay? A couple minutes, 5, 6, 7 minutes per item, depending on what it is. The government, Kevin is suggesting that the government pays part of the employees' salaries. That's not something I'm educated on. Maybe somebody knows more about that. If an employee's making $9 an hour at Goodwill or $8 an hour or whatever the minimum wage is it 50% government funds and 50% Goodwill, or is it 75 or is it 100? I don't know the answer to that question. Bins for the win. Yeah, I mean, if you have a bin store, definitely go. The quality of the bins here in St. Pete, Tampa, St. Pete, Florida area have gone way downhill. Way downhill. Okay, so the moral of the story, if you're watching this on replay, Goodwill uploading more and more merchandise online to compete with us after they've already raised the prices. I think they raised the prices so high, what we just talked about, that they priced themselves out of it and they realized it and they're like, wow, we can't get $20 for Miss Me jeans in a store. Nobody's going to buy them. And they were sitting or they were ending up at the bins and they were like, man, let's just go ahead and put them online and get as much as we can. And so that's what happened. 300 people in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you hit that like button. Do not shoot the messenger for the bad news. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for that. Do you think they cherry pick the good stuff by Goodwill employees? Yes, there's absolutely cherry picking going on from Goodwill employees that know what they are doing, or stores and regions that have a manager or management that tells them to do so. What do you guys think? Do you think there's some cherry picking going on? Because I definitely believe that there is some cherry picking. There's no doubt about it. Adam's Exploit, Mr. Adam, our buddy over there at Adam's Exploits, $5 for the super chat. Get the Wrecking Crew some treats. I will do. They are napping, waiting for their mother to get home. Yeah, Bob's World podcast. I did see that too. So I do have a little confession to make. This story broke about 2 days ago. It broke about Monday or Tuesday. I can't recall. I actually knew about this last week on Friday. I have a contact. I'm not going to say who, obviously. I'm not going to say who this person works for, whether it's OfferUp or Goodwill. I'm not going to disclose either and or, but they did shoot me a text message Friday afternoon to let me know that this was going to be a story on Monday or Tuesday, but that I could not say anything until this week. So that's, I do have an insider. I do. I have a couple couple. I'm losing them though. I lose my insiders all the time. It's crazy. People rotate out of businesses and companies like eBay, getting rid of execs. I lost Bob. What are you gonna do, man? Okay. Are they higher on OfferUp? No. I definitely think that they are probably comparable. Definitely cherry picking. Definitely. Bins are getting better in Ohio because they're not selling at the stores. Charging $30 for a purse and it ends up at the bins for $1.29. Pineapple Path, perfect example. I mean, okay, so since this channel is about telling you what's going on and then telling you how it affects you and how to fix it, let's talk about other sourcing avenues. If you can't go to your Goodwill because it's too expensive or because they're putting all the good stuff online and you can't get it any other way, what are the solutions? Well, obviously, Salvation Army is a great solution, and Savers. Those are the two biggest outside of Goodwill. The bins, number one. The Goodwill outlet bins, if you got them, go. If they're good quality, good price, do it. Salvation Army and Savers outside of that. Also, save up for the days when it's 50% off or buy one, get one free. Our Salvation Armies, a couple of them on the first Saturday of every month, have 99 cents a pound for clothes, shoes, so you can go do that. Also, the local mom and pop thrift stores. A lot of them are, we have one here called City Pawn, or not City Pawn, City, is it City Thrift? I think it's called. It might be Tampa Thrift. I can't remember, but it's that one I haven't been to in a while, and I don't know why. I should go there. It was really good. $1.99, $2.99, $3.99. So they'll have good prices. They didn't have a lot of inventory. I think that's why I didn't go. They had good prices. They just weren't stocked all that well. But it was still a great place to go. Mom and pop thrift stores. Start looking for things that are electronics and hard goods. Going to pawn shops. Look on Craigslist. Look on Facebook Marketplace. Look at outside things. Look, guys, I put out a message today that I want to buy bulk neckties for people to email me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com. I have 30 or 40 emails. I'm buying from like 10 or 15 people. I'm spending a ton of money on bulk merchandise today. Go out and find people that are going out of business with their eBay stores. They're all over the place. I'm going to start doing a thread inside of my Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, it's Thrifter Reseller World. It's completely free. There's 109,000 odd people in there. I'm going to start doing a thread where if you want to sell all your inventory, legitimately, like if you're not just being a wholesaler, I'm not going to let bulk and wholesale and scammers and people trying to run a wholesale liquidation business out of my group. But if you legit just want to liquidate and thin out your inventory, or you're getting out of the business, or somebody else is, it'll be an opportunity for you guys to find merchandise and to sell merchandise. I'm going to start a thread on that. Please don't go in the group and post this yet, because I'm going to start something on it and announce it like once a week where everyone can mark their stuff. Look for these types of purchases. Look for these opportunities. You don't have to source with all of your eggs in one basket at a Goodwill, or even eggs in one basket at just thrift stores. There's a ton of other places to find merchandise. You can make listings and ads on local marketplaces to, network with people, to find. Go to your Chamber of Commerce. Go to your Facebook pages of your neighborhood. We have a neighborhood with 5,000 houses in my neighborhood and like 30,000 members of this group, because there's multiple people. Me and Kate are both a member of our group. My neighbor and his wife are a member of the group. The people across the street are in the group. There's 30, 40,000 people in our neighborhood group, and you could put a post out in the group with the approval of the admin and say, hey, if anybody's getting ready to donate all of their clothes and get rid of it, hit me up. I'll make you an offer. I'll buy it. There's 1,000 ways to find merchandise. Just saying. So what editing do I use for your mom live videos? My live videos is no editing. Oh, for my non-live videos, I use Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro. I'm on a MacBook. Garage and yard sales. Obviously, garage and yard sales, now that it's summer, is a fantastic way to find merchandise. Estate sales. No star. Keith already offered me your ties, and that's a hard pass. This is probably one of the best old fashions that I have made in a long time. I haven't had an old fashioned in a while, but this is one of the best ones I made. I made it at home. Expand your markets with what you're selling. Yeah, look into hard goods. Look to electronics. Look to video games. Open your own thrift store, your own donations. The Nextdoor app is pretty good as well. What is the name of the Facebook group? Thrifter Reseller World is my free Facebook group. Thrifter Reseller World. Just type that into Facebook and join it. Message estate and house sale companies. Storage units. Storage units are another great place to get merchandise. So open your eyes up to more avenues of sourcing, more avenues of networking, more avenues of selling, more markets, more categories, more places. There's always more than just Goodwill. Don't let one thing get you down. Trust me. So that's like the biggest advice I can give you. Don't worry about Goodwill in the news. It is annoying. It's not unheard of. They already sell on eBay and Amazon, so them selling on OfferUp is just another platform. It's no big deal. It is news. It is something I want to tell you guys about, just so you're aware. But it's not going to be devastating. I just got an interesting text from one of you guys about it. So okay, I'm gonna enter into the Q&A section. Questions over in the chat. Ask, and I will answer. And then we will roll on. I want to give you guys 3 updates. I feel really bad about all 3, but I want to give you guys 3 updates. Number 1, we are going to have podcast episodes. Me and Keith did post podcasts. We are going to do some more. We're just trying to work out schedules. I had a rough week or 2 of things going on, and Keith's been on top of me. So if you don't know Keith over at Flippin' Hippos with Star, he's part of the podcast. You can download the podcast, Rockstar Entrepreneurs, on any podcast app. Anchor, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, or you can go to anchor.fm/Rockstar Entrepreneurs. I recommend Anchor app. Download the free Anchor podcast app and then search for Rockstar Entrepreneurs. So that's number 1. The podcast will be back. Number 2 is that I'm going to be doing some changes to one of my eBay stores and my Poshmark store. I'm going to be testing some things out. So you guys will see some changes to that. I'm just working on a few things right now. Obviously, I'm buying a bunch of ties in bulk. So we're going to be working on kind of a niche category and maybe a niche closet on Posh. We'll see what happens. I'm working on that. So that's the second one. And the third one is Kate's leaving town this weekend. So I'm going to be doing all the work on my own, including trying to keep up with this. So if I'm slow on emails or videos or anything this weekend or next week, just bear with me. I will get back to normal once I have that help. So yeah. Unless I'm on the podcast, then he talks. Yeah. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. We'll get more podcasting up for you. We're trying to work it out. Yeah, you have to be strict with yourself on social media. That's a great tip. Watch YouTube videos, but don't watch them all night. I usually will watch a few, and then I'll go work, and then maybe before I go to bed, I'll watch a few. I try to make sure I keep up on news. I try to keep up if there's anything crazy happening. I try to watch a few fun videos that have nothing to do with work. I try to watch a few motivational. So I try to kind of spread it out. So I do see some other resellers. I don't see everything. I try to watch it as much as possible, but there's only so much time in a day. Jamie here. What's up? Just went to a consignment shop trying to expand beyond thrift stores. There you go. Do you really think Goodwill can raise their prices anymore? They're so high I can barely buy anything. No, there's always room. Okay, so yes, there's always room to raise prices more. But that just means if your prices are that high that you can't buy anything, you have to look at other items. And if you still can't buy anything, you have to go somewhere else. You cannot keep relying on the same things if it's not working. Candace is talking about selling a niche item. Now, she has a niche store. It's a plus size store for eBay. If you are adding a different item altogether, opening a new eBay store is recommendable. But honestly, for me, I don't think you should open a different store unless that is your only item. So, for example, if your entire store is candles and you've got 500 listings of candles and all of a sudden you want to start selling, pillows or blankets or whatever, it's probably okay to keep it in the store because people search for an item. If you want to start selling PlayStations, it might be better off to go ahead and switch to another store. If it has some sort of relation to that item, keep it. Now, you can list everything in one store. Less logging in, less logging out, less passwords, less accounting nightmares, less business names, less to remember, less paying for store. There's a ton of reasons why you would and wouldn't do it, but I would love to just keep one store. However, I have 2 stores that have nothing to do with the items that I sell. They have to do with you guys, not you guys, but a few of you guys that attempt to troll the store. Remember, I had somebody buy 68 items or 64 items all in one day, trolled the store, had to make it private. Joseph, how many ties? Right now we cut back on our ties because we had so many listed. We wanted to organize and change things up. But at one point we had about 500 ties active, and we were selling anywhere from 2 a day, 1 a day, 2 a day. We were selling, I think we sold, the best month we had, we did sell 65 ties. But we were targeting, Harley Davidson ties. We sold 3 Harley ties in a day. We sold a Beatles tie. We sold lots of Jay Garcia ties. We sold that Hermes tie for $59. We sold those 2 Brioni ties for $23 and $32. So we had quite a few brand names. In that month, we probably sold 15 or 20 brand name ties. We sold about 15 or 20 regular ties that were just, Polo, Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not making a fortune. We're selling a tie for $9.99 with free shipping. You're at $10 less the fees and the shipping are leaving you like $5.50 or $6. But I'm only into them for a quarter, 50 cents. So it's $5-6 profit that I had almost no cost in, almost no storage space, very little work, very little time, and very little ease in shipping. Remember, I've got a tie. I might have a bin that's like this, and I might be able to store 50 ties. So on one shelf in my garage that's right behind this wall, I probably have, 500, 600 ties on one little shelf. And so it's no space. A tie sells, I fold it up, roll it up, whatever I'm going to do, bag it, tag it, and out the door. It's no time. Yeah, I make $5, $6, $7, but I have no cost. That entire shelf may have only cost me $200. And when the first 10 or 15 ties sell, I'm profitable. And all this inventory is sitting on the shelf, just making me money every time they sell. So probably not the best business to get into. Listen, ties are slow. They sell slower than almost anything else. The reason that I like ties, other than everything I just said to you, is because I know a lot about them and I know a few secrets that I don't share. So, yeah, the Zoom app is something we're looking into, Adam, for sure. Good night, Renee. We just saw you leaving. Hit that like button. Yeah, Justin, appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks to both of you for the super chats. Appreciate that. Oh, God. What brand of whiskey do you use for your old fashioned? I like Makers. This happens to be Jim Beam. RockstarFlipper@gmail.com is my email for whoever just asked. I got an email from PayPal wanting proof that I paid taxes. Will they cut me off quickly? If PayPal, don't open an email from PayPal. Go to your PayPal account, sign in, click on your notifications, and if they've asked you for your social security number or tax ID, you have to provide it or they will cut you off. Yeah. What is your personal favorite category to sell in? I love video games and I love neckties. Volume is key. Yes, yes. Besides ties, what are the best things to sell? I'm just starting out. Ties are not the best thing to sell. Ties are not the best thing to sell. Why am I selling them? Because I understand the market and I understand volume and I understand the inventory, zero cost to inventory. Otherwise, do not start with neckties. Add them if you want later, but don't start with them. Video games and electronics are really good, but make sure you understand the risk. How do I store my ties? They're simply in a bin. Look, I'll show you guys one of the bins. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with ties. Hold on 1 second. I'll just show you guys a bin. So I've got one right here that I could just show you guys. And here, let me move this drink out of the way so I don't go ruining a bunch of ties. So this bin, this particular bin will hold about 40 ties. Now, a lot of people like to pre-bag their ties, which is what we've been doing more of as I get more and more ties. But what I'm going to show you guys, for example, these are just a bunch of ties that have to be listed. We haven't listed these yet. So once they're listed, they can get pre-bagged so that you can identify them a lot easier. But you can fold up a tie, just a basic tie like this, and slide it into a plain plastic baggie and number it like 101, 102, 103, 104. Once it's in the plain plastic baggie, you just stick it into a bin like this, labeled M. And so your bin is going to be, here, you take all these out, right? These are ties we have to list. They're not listed. So, we would take this tie, bag it, stick it in there. And then we take the next one. Let's say we listed 20 ties this day, right? We go ahead and take the second tie, bag it, sit it on top. Take the third tie, bag it up, sitting on top. Look, there's 3 ties, and we haven't even come close. We could easily get about 6 or 7. We can get 30, 35 ties inside of this thing, bagged up. M 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106. Slide this onto a garage shelf, and then slide 1 and 1 and 1. I can get like 3 side by side. So 1 shelving unit, top shelf, middle shelf, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, all the way down. You can get, you know, 3, 6, 8, 9, 15 bins with 30 or 40 ties each. That's 500 ties on 1 garage shelf. You could have 500 pieces of inventory on 1 little $25 shelving unit from Walmart. We have 3 of those shelving units. I could easily get 1,500 to 2,000 units on there. So that's just ties. That's just the easy way to do it. The Plush friends will rule the world. Plush is something that's slow moving, but you can get it cheap. Media Marauder, yeah, CDs and DVDs. Yep, that was a Nicole Miller tie, whoever just said that. You know, I sell ties that are name brand, anything you would think of. This is not a name brand, but I'll give you guys just an example. This is a little tie. Look, it's Golfers. It's nothing special. This brand is Rudia, made in India. It's nothing special, but somebody will buy this. This tie may take 6 months, 9 months, 12 months to sell, but I have 10 cents in this tie. 10 cents. And when it sells for $10, I'll make $6.50, $7 profit. Does that make sense? Like, oh, you're working for $6. I can list an item and make $25, $30. Yeah, sure you can. But how much did you pay for that? How much inventory? You know, some people like to sell volume. Some people like to sell, more expensive items. I just, my return rate on ties is almost nothing. This particular tie, this isn't even Nicole Miller. I thought it was. But this tie is something I would try to get about $14, $15 for, because it's all about fishing. Check it out. See, it's just novelty. It's not a brand that anyone's ever heard of. This brand is called Rossetti. I don't know. But it's a cool fishing tie. It's 100% silk. It talks about fishing and reels. I put $15 on this tie. Even if I get 13 or 14 for it, I've probably got 10 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents even in it. And that's a quick $8 to $10 profit. Meanwhile, the whole bin cost me $5, and I sell 1 of them or 2 of them and get the money back, and the rest of the bin's profit. All of a sudden, I've got 50 bins. Every time I sell ties, I'm getting profits, and it's just to build up an inventory that has no cost. That's all. And they're really quick to list. Yep. Lotting them up is a good idea. All about listings. Yeah, some people like to do volume, and some people don't. What info should you include when listing ties? If you're going to list a tie, again, I don't recommend anyone building a business on this. I'm attempting something with a niche store because I know somebody that has a huge store of ties. They're slow. They're very slow moving. You have to be able to source thousands of them. But ties, you need the width at the widest point. You need the full length of the tie, obviously. 3 pictures, 4 pictures at best. You need, the design, you need the back tag, you need the material tag if it has it. So that's 3 pictures. And then preferably a picture showing the width of the tie, like this part with the tape measure, your little tape measure laid across it so they can see that it's a 3.5 or 4 inch or whatever it might be. And that's usually good. 4 pictures for a tie. You could sit here and photograph a whole bin of ties, 15 or 20 listings, in about, it shouldn't take you more than a minute or 2 per tie. So you let's just say you're going to do 20 ties and it's going to take you an hour to photograph them. Sit down and list, 2 hours to list. You could list an entire bin of 20, 25 ties in 3 or 4 hours. You could do that at, 5 days a week. All of a sudden, in a month, you've put up 400 ties, and you'll be selling ties every day. You could also cross-post these to Poshmark really easily. So just something to think about, but I wouldn't build your business on it. Nope, I've never had a problem storing anything in my garage. This is a myth. People ask me this all the time. Are you worried about, inventory in your garage? What about the humidity? What about the heat? I have never had a problem with inventory in a garage, bag tagged or otherwise, ever. If you get a leak, you got trouble, but otherwise, no. Bobby, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. How do you prep China for shipping? I don't do shipping to China. My average profit on each tie is probably between 5 and 7, up to 8. Yeah. You get better with experience. People said, how do you speed up? You get better with experience. Better with experience. So are we going to Goodwill and buying everything we can before it's all online? No, I think that some places are too expensive for some people to buy just yet. Looks like I'm getting a bunch of prank calls from you guys. Is that right? Unfortunately, I know one of the numbers that's calling me, and it's spoofed from PayPal. So go ahead and pick it up. Hello? 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 You guys be spoofing the calls. Why do you guys prank call me every time you get a chance? Whoever's got my number, stop prank calling me. It's not funny. Okay. Poisonous spiders. Yeah, I mean, if you have vermin that get into your garage, you have to be careful. We get sprayed every 6 months here for bugs and whatnot, so we're pretty good. We're pretty good. When the hurricanes threaten, do you prep your inventory to evacuate? Padiddles. Yeah, we did. When we evacuated, we put everything up really high, but if the roof blew off and it got flooded, I have my business reported on my homeowner's insurance. I have part of my homeowner's insurance is that I have a home business and that I have X amount of inventory in the house. I believe I have it reported at 50,000. So, all of my stuff, my TVs, my computer, my furniture, everything that's a normal household, that normal people, beds that normal people have in their house, I'm protected, beyond what it would take to rebuild this house. We're protected for $100,000 for everything inside that you can turn upside down and shake. So if you took my roof off and you flipped my house upside down and shook it, everything that would fall out of it, all the furniture, not the carpets, that's all part of rebuilding the house. I get the rebuild value of my house. But the everything that could shake, I get $100,000. So I would have to use $100,000 to buy new furniture, to buy, new TVs, to buy new appliances. All good, all easy. I could easily replace all that with $100,000. Beyond that, I believe I have an additional $50,000 for the inventory that does not count towards my personal belongings. So, so thank you so much. Okay. What if flip it? This listing is my favorite. No hate listing. Justin, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Take your inventory list with you. Yes, I have. Obviously, everything we have listed on eBay, Amazon, Poshmark is online, so we have that documented. We also have documentation of everything that's in our inventory. We have photos, we have a approximate value, we have receipts, we have everything that we would need for the homeowner's insurance to pay off. Had a large tornado that headed towards my home. Sadly, I was more worried about my inventory than anything else. Yeah, sometimes we get a Midwest flipper. Sometimes we get a little worried about that. We worry about hurricanes. We are in the middle of hurricane season now. Hurricane season peaks next month into August. July and August are the two biggest months for hurricanes. September has had a few. June, typically no hurricanes. Usually the very first tropical storms will start rolling in at the end of June in the next couple of weeks. And then as July begins, we will see the hurricanes start forming. So, yeah. 8 to 10 clothing items an hour is really fast. Most people average 5 to 7, like one every 10 minutes, so 6 an hour. 8 to 10 is good. Do you use remote cloud storage? I don't use cloud storage for like an inventory list. I don't have an inventory list, so all of my receipts are digital. Every time I buy something with a receipt, I take a photo of it and I have it backed up. Not only is it on my phone with the iCloud, so I do use the iCloud for that, for my photos of receipts. It's also in my QuickBooks. QuickBooks keeps a copy of those receipts, so when I take a photo and it's on my phone in the cloud, it uploads to the iCloud on my phone and then into QuickBooks. So I have copies of all the receipts for everything, and then I take photos of all the inventory. So I have all that. And of course, we have our online inventories for eBay, Amazon, and Poshmark. So those are all accessible anywhere on any computer. So all good. A lot of rain in Tampa lately. Yeah, hopefully a lot of rain here is emptying the rain, so we won't get a lot of it during hurricane season. But unfortunately, I think it means the water is warm, and I think it means that we are going to get some hurricanes. All we can hope for is not a lot of flooding. Floods are what scares me. I'm not worried about the wind blowing this stuff down. These houses that were built, after, Andrew in 91, some of the hurricanes in 95 or 96, homes built after that. This house was built in 2000, so our house is 19 years old. Houses built in the 2000 anythings have hurricane braces. After the 2004-2005 hurricane season, all the houses, when they were sold, had to be upgraded with new hurricane braces. So up at the roof lines along the trusses, they have hurricane braces. They're like kind of U clamp shaped ones, and they hook around, and they're nailed in like 10 times every 6 inches or something, all the way up and down the house. So the roofs really takes a lot to blow the roof off of these new houses, especially these brick ones. And I don't really fear for that. Windows blowing out, that's a little bit of a fear, because of if the windows blow out, the rain can get in, then it floods. Obviously, windows breaking is no fun. It's glass. I really fear the flooding, the water just coming up and flooding the house. That's what I fear. So, how do we do our taxes? Tammy, email me at rockstarflipper@gmail.com. I have an entire accounting program that you should really consider getting for $20. You need a CPA. That's my best advice, but my accounting and bookkeeping program will get you started and on your way to meeting with your CPA. So something to think about. So I think we're going to wrap up in a minute. Kate's going to be home pretty soon, and the dogs are going to go nuts. It's almost 10 o'clock, so I appreciate all the questions. Make sure you guys, any of you have not hit the thumbs up below me, the little blue thumbs up, the like button, please do. It really helps the videos. It helps the channel, and it helps reach as many people as possible. And if you're watching this on repeat, hit the like button later. I appreciate that also. And leave me questions in the comment section, or email me at rockstarflipper@gmail.com, and I will get back to you tomorrow with all the emails on Friday that I get from my Thursday live show. And with that, I'll leave it to you guys. Have a wonderful night. I have a great video for you tomorrow. And also day number 9 of the Amazing Bolos will be uploaded right after this live video before I go to bed. So we get day number 9, almost 10% of the way through 100 awesome items. And of course, if you want more of the Bolos, they're down below, 700 of them, $25. Best $25 you'll spend. You will make that money back. They include quite a few brands of neckties and tons of other electronics, clothing, shoes, hard goods, toys, video games, everything. You guys know the story. So have a great night. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.